Okay, thanks everybody for coming along today for the meeting of the Property Subcommittee on the 18th of November 2024. All usual housekeeping rules apply, and so I'll ask Adam if there are any apologies or anybody attending online.
Thanks, Convener. No formal apologies for the meeting, and all members are present in the chambers.
Thanks, Adam. Do any members have any declarations of interest on any items of business today? Don't see any notifications, so I'll go on to ask, can we approve the minutes of the property sub from the 2nd of September 2024? Councillor Cuthbert.
Just to say that I find it quite frustrating. We make decisions in this committee, but we never get any feedback on those decisions. So I'm wondering whether we can get some sort of updates on things like the Crieff Primary and Fortivia Primary and the Aberfeldy one, the Invervar cottages, just so we know what's actually happened, whether we've achieved what was needed or whether they were disposed of.
Yeah, and you and I spoke about this, and I think it's perfectly sensible. You know, if we put a property to auction, and that's the last we hear of it, we don't know if it sold. And then Crieff Primary, we need an update on that because I think that's come back in. So, if Adam, can you take a note of that in the minutes or in even further forward, if an action hasn't been completed, i.e. something's not gone to auction, it comes back after it has. Everybody quite comfortable with that?
We did an action log just like we do for other committees where we can see what's going on. It just as a running document. It should be easy to update.
I think it would be useful because I didn't know until I asked the question that the one in Glenlyon had actually gone through the auction process and the receipt we've got, and there would be no other way of knowing it. So if you can ask officers to do that, Adam. Thanks.
Councillor Lane, can I just come in there? It's Jonathan James here. We would, once these are sold, we would do a key decision note and put them onto delegated authority, delegated powers paper. Just so you know, once the sale's done, just for information purposes for the committee to get an update, just as Councillor Cuthbert's saying there, we do put these through after the event.
How far after the event are they on there, Jonathan?
As soon as they're done, we will do it, and we will do an information. And I know in a lot of cases, you know, we could have delegated authority ones anyway, but if they've gone through property subcommittee for the approval, we would put these on the paper, just for your own information, just to see what happened. So it would be the next possible one that there was.
Councillor Ahern.
The idea of an action log is it would include those that haven't finished that process. It would keep us up to date with those that have and have not.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just want to make it clear that the ones that are disposed of and have been sold, you will receive updates on these.
Okay, thanks very much, Jonathan. We'll go with an action log as well, if that's okay. Okay, so we'll now go on to item 4, which is a disposal by auction of 2 and 2A Balmoral Road, Rattray.
Yep, that's me. Thank you, Councillor Lane, and good afternoon, councillors. The report here for 2 and 2A Balmoral Road is seeking your approval for the disposal by means of auction. Property number 2 Balmoral Road forms a former council social work office, occupying a ground floor and part first floor of this corner 3-storey building at the corner of Balmoral Road and High Street. Property at 2A is a council flat which forms maisonette over first and attic levels. The office, actually both properties have been vacant since 2018, and the flat has been through a feasibility study, although they both have been through feasibility studies in relation to converting the office into 3 two-bed properties and reinstating the 2A into habitable accommodation. The report came back saying that they were not, that the costs were prohibitive to get this back on the market. So that is what we're looking for today, is to seek your approval.
Thanks, Alan. Thanks for your introductions. So if anybody's got questions, can they put it in the chat or hand up? Councillor Cuthbert.
Thank you, convener. Yeah, that's a period of 6 years. I'm surprised we haven't been letting it out for that period. Is there a reason why it's not been let while we were doing these feasibility studies?
I think the intention was for it to be converted into housing. The office accommodation was, therefore no marketing has happened for that period. I think that there's been a few reasons why it hasn't gone to, and ultimately it's due to the costs that's been prohibitive now.
Thanks. Councillor Bailey Ahern. So
Thank you. I noticed on the proposals, it's proposed to market both as a single lot. I don't know the layout of it, but is there a particular reason why it's been marketed as a single lot, or is it possible to market as 2?
That's purely as it's on a single title, held on a single title.
Councillor Barrett.
Thanks, convener. 6 years seems a fairly long period of time to get these kind of surplus properties onto the market. Is there anything that we can do or are doing to kind of streamline that process? To kind of wonder why we needed to do 2 S-bars for the properties.
I would probably try and refer to June McCall, maybe in the housing department, who's online. She may be able to give a bit more information as to that reason.
Yes, good afternoon, councillors. There was little or no waiting list for that size of accommodation in that area. The property also sits right on the corner of a busy roadway, so it's not really a desirable property either. So the initial phase of the timescale was really the inability to be able to let the property out. And all the same could be said about the private property next door, which obviously is not in our ownership, but for a long length of time that property has been vacant as well. So really there still is and was no waiting list demand for that type of property in the location that it is.
Are you happy with that, Councillor Barrett, or do you want to follow up? Okay. Any further questions? Don't see any further questions, so I'm happy to move the report. I'm familiar where the property is, as others will be as well, Councillor McEwen and that. And I think if somebody can take over and bring it back to use, it'll be beneficial for us all. So happy to move the report. Seconder.
I'm happy to second the report, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Do we have any comments? No comments. That then concludes the public part of the business, and I'll bring this part of the meeting to a close. Thank you.